What's going on, ICers? Another day out here. I just finished off doing the job real quick. I'm on my way home. Take my little break, have some lunch with the wife and my daughter before I go out tonight to do the auto part run. By the way, thanks to all my new subscribers, man. I appreciate it. 100%. Thanks for subscribing. But anyway, I got a subscriber reach out to me through email and ask me a question in regards to taxes. You know, in general, tax information. So here we go. Let's discuss taxes. I'm not a tax professional. I'm just gonna let some info out on what I know, what I've experienced in the last 9-10 years of me doing this. Because I've been doing this since 2008, full time. Okay? So here we go. You know, independent contractors, you're not an employee, so you're not gonna get a W-2. You're gonna get what you guys should know already. It's called a 1099. 1099 is basically how much money you've made with this company. So if you're working with 3 companies, you should get 3 1099s, one for each company. And it's gonna say you made X amount of dollars. Now, as a contractor, you know you don't pay federal tax, you don't pay state tax, you don't pay Medicaid, you don't get a 401k, all that stuff you have to do on your own. Okay? So as far as taxes go, basically keep a good track of all your expenses. Say fuel, insurance, repairs, uniforms, your boots, straps, and most important, miles. Miles is a big thing, especially if you're doing a lot of miles, because you cannot claim everything. You cannot claim miles. You cannot claim your repairs. You cannot claim parts. You cannot claim your car washes. You cannot claim all those things if you claim miles. Those 2 things are in 2 different brackets. Okay, you can either claim your miles because you're gonna get an allowance. It's a 53 cents per mile. You can Google it. It changes every year. Let's say you get 52 cents per mile credit. And the way it works is if you get a run, it's 100 miles one way. The customer's gonna pay you $1 a mile. You got $100 for that run. Okay, you made $100 for 100 miles, but you also gotta go back to your house, and your house is what, 100 miles away. So your run actually was 200 miles round trip, but you only got paid for 100 miles. So you got $100. So the federal credit, let's say, is 52 cents per mile. At 200 miles, you got $104 credit, allowance or credit, whatever you want to call it. So that means that you made $100 and they're gonna credit you $104. So you lost $4. You were in the negative $4. So we all know you don't pay taxes on negatives. So there was no income, there was no profit. You have a $4 loss. That's why it's important to keep track of your miles, because when it comes down to doing on that run deductions, miles overweighs your expenses in fuel and all the humper jumper. Okay? So you cannot claim miles, and you cannot claim your gas, you cannot claim your insurance all in one. You have to figure out which one will be your better bet, your best bet. Miles or expenses. That's why you have to get a tax professional. Don't go to H&R Block. Don't go to these like pop-up places. Go to someone you can trust, like a CPA who does taxes, and you sit down with them and you say, listen, you can do my taxes every year, and he'll tell you what to save. Save your fuel, get a fuel card to track it down. Track your miles, write down your miles from the minute you leave your home to the minute you get back to your house. Write down your miles. Every time your van moves, track the miles. You go to meetings, you're gonna look for a job, you're gonna go look at a potential company to work for. Write all those miles off, because it's an expense. Okay, this van is an expense. Your insurance, keep track of all that. Get folders, put the stuff in folders. You have to be organized. So save your tolls, your gas receipts, your insurance receipts. Save all the receipts you can get. Okay? Get some folders, label up the folders, put them in the folders. You know, at the end of the year, you can tidy up, do the math on everything inside the folders. As far as your insurance, your expenses, your repairs, and most important, your miles. Track your miles on a daily basis. Because if you do a lot of miles, 8 times out of 10, you're going to go with miles anyway, and everything else, you can forget about it. You can do miles, I think tolls. If you pay someone to help you, you can do that. There's certain things that can go with miles. I don't know exactly what they are. I forget. That's why I have a tax professional that does that for me. And I dial the phone. She answers questions, you know, throughout the whole year. So get someone you can trust, and you can ask these questions, you know. But as right now, just keep track of everything, you know, and don't be nervous about having to pay taxes. I have 3 kids and I'm married. You know, I've driven 70, 80,000 miles a year. Okay? At the end of the year, I tidy up my taxes. I get a refund. I don't have to pay any taxes because, you know, because of my miles is one thing, and, you know, different allowances and credits and stuff you get for having kids and a house and all that humble jumble. Okay? Because, you know, you are independent. You are using your EIN number, which is linked to your social. So you can use your social or your EIN number, whatever you prefer to use, but it's all basically the same thing. Everything comes back to the social security number. Okay? So some people don't get into this business because they're actually scared. Wow, no, I'm gonna pay taxes. You know, it's not true. You know, I've paid taxes maybe 2 years out of the 10 years that I've been doing this. And it's because I was doing work for a company called Urban Express, and I was doing IKEA assemblies. So I was going to people's houses, and I was assembling closets and all that stuff. I had a helper. The thing with that, I was putting in no miles. I was putting in maybe 30, 40, 50 miles a day, and that's leaving my house and being back at the house, because all my work was in the city of Boston, and the warehouse was probably 12 miles from the city. So I wasn't doing much driving, but I was making a heck of a lot of money. I was making $1,200 a day doing the assemblies. Working all day, had a helper and everything. So at the end of the year, I made so much money, and I had very little expensive. Because in that job, I had a little expensive. I had tools, I had tools, and I may do right off acres or shims and screws and that, but that didn't add up to nothing. My fuel, my miles didn't add up to nothing, and I made a lot of money, so I had to pay taxes. That happened for me 2 years in a row. But as far as strictly delivering, driving 100, 150, 200 miles, 300 miles a day, and averaging $1 or a little bit over $1 a mile, I was in the green, and I didn't have to pay any taxes. Most of it because I have kids and I'm married and in a house and all that, so you get all those credits and all those allowances. But the main thing was the miles. The miles really brought, it was maybe if I made $90,000, there's one time, I forget what year it was, I had a $40,000 credit. So it went from like 90,000 down to 50,000 because they took 40,000 off the top due to miles. So, don't be scared. You can go in it. You can do this job. Get yourself a tax professional to give you advice. Be organized. Be 100% organized. And just ask questions. That's when you can trust and ask questions, and you'd be good. You'd be good to go. And you can also do your taxes every 4 months. Every quarter, in case you have to pay. You can pay right there, and then you don't have to wait. So it accumulates to the end of the year. You can pay every 3 months, or do your taxes every 3 months. That's if you think you're gonna owe money. That's why I'm saying get a tax professional. He can look at your situation, your kids, if you're married, and all that, and he can actually tell you, once you know approximately how many miles you're gonna be driving a day if you're doing a route or something. Like I know I drive in the morning, I drive 1,000 miles a week. You know, if I do jobs in a day, that can tally up to maybe an extra 500 to 600. So I'm doing roughly 1,500 miles a week. Okay, so I'm averaging about $1.25 a mile. So you know, I'm good. I'm good. At the end of the year, I'll probably end up profiting, you know, in the eyes of Uncle Sam, $2,000. Not because of I have a lot of expenses, it's because of the miles that I'm taking off the top. Those suckers add up. But anyway, if you have any questions, then shoot me an email, rmbcs@comcast.net, or better yet, just get yourself a tax professional, you know, so you can trust someone local. You know, you can sit down and ask these questions. Don't wait till the end of the year to go to an H&R Block office with a stack of papers and, you know, get someone you can call, you know, and ask a question. You know, you don't have to do your taxes January 1st. You can wait till April, you know, towards the end to do your taxes like I do. I wait till the last minute. You can get an extension on your taxes also. You got to push back a couple months. You know, there's certain ways to do it. But my advice is get a professional. Don't be scared of the taxes, especially if you're doing a lot of miles. Have a family and stuff, you be good. But anyway, I'm going to cut this video short. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. And anything you guys want me to talk about, hit it in the comments. Shoot me an email, rmbcs@yahoo. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.